So welcome back, friends. Today is Sawmill Saturday and we're headed down to the wood shop to make some shiplap. But before I get into that, let me show you guys some footage I took about 2 days ago on my little adventure to Louisville, Kentucky. It got off to a pretty rocky start, but it turned out being a pretty good trip. You guys hang in there and I'll see you back here in just a minute. All right, guys, we're on the road, headed to Louisville, Kentucky, going to the equipment expo tomorrow, and I'm having some vehicle trouble right now. I had to use my battery booster to get the truck started. I'm not sure if I got a bad battery or maybe I left something on last night when I had to head out. We had a skunk come through the garage last night. That's another story. I'll tell you guys about that here in a minute. But that's the reason I had to head out last night kind of late to get some stuff. But it looks like we're doing okay right now. But I ain't gonna stop before I get out of town down here to O'Reilly's and have them check the batteries for me, and hopefully they're okay. And I brought my battery booster as well, the NOCO boost, to keep us going. But before we go to O'Reilly's, I'm gonna stop right here at Harbor Freight because they got a sale today. You get a free hat if you buy something. And I think they had this set of pliers that I've been looking for a long time. They show sold out every time I try to buy a pair of them. They're icons. And it says online they got them in this morning. So hopefully when you get in Harbor Freight and the truck will start back up, then we'll head over to O'Reilly's and have them check the battery. I tell you what, friends, today is going to be an interesting adventure based on the start I got last night with that skunk. I tell you what, you guys hang in there and see what we get into today. All right, friends, so they had the pliers. I had the smaller set, but the longer set is the ones I've been looking for. They actually had two of them, and guess what? I got both of them. 9-inch long nose slip joint pliers by Icon. Lifetime warranty. That's good stuff right there. And where's it at? Right there it is. I'm losing everything. Also got my free hat. And one more thing. Throw this in the back. These little Icon tool magnetic mats right here. These are super strong. I have one already, but I was wanting a second one for the Sawmill shop. And they had them in stock today. I only had two of these. These are hard to find as well. So a good deal. Things are going better for me. Hopefully now, the truck will start. Where's my keys? My goodness, right there in my lap. Here we go. Well, starts right up. I'm thinking last night when I shut the back door, I must have not shut it hard enough and left the dome light on or something like that. Because it starts up fine now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Should I go to O'Reilly's and check the battery or just go on to Kentucky? It's a 4-hour drive. Hard decision to make right there, hard decision. I think I'll go have the batteries checked just to be sure. You never know.
That one.
Well, $600 later, it looks like both my batteries are bad on this truck, which doesn't surprise me. This is the original batteries that came on this truck. It's about 5 years old, 59,000 miles, so I probably should have had these tested way before now. I've thought about it a few times, but I've never done it. What's going on down here? Oh, looks like they're transporting a house. Looks like that's an entire house on the road. My goodness. Hopefully this picks up on camera. That's a whole house they're moving right there. Man, you don't see that every day. Not a very big house. So now we're going to head down here to this little place. It's an express oil change, and they'll switch your batteries out. Usually O'Reilly's will do that, but those batteries have fuse blocks on top of them, and they won't let them work on them because of all the stuff that's going on with them. Now, normally I would do this myself, but I don't have time to run back home and spend an hour or two doing this in my shop. Hopefully these guys can knock it out in a few minutes. All right, guys, we're finally on the road. Got the batteries put in. That fixed all this stuff I was having on the instrument panel. All the turn signals acting kind of funny. I guess the voltage was low, was causing that. But I got the batteries put in. I took the old ones back to O'Reilly's. I stopped and filled up with some diesel, and we're finally on the road, but I'm 2.5 hours behind. It's 1:30. I was hoping to get on the road by 11 and get there around 4, but now we'll be lucky to get there by 6. And I have to be there by 6:30 because, or I need to be there by 6:30 rather. Cotto is taking me and another friend of mine out to eat tonight at 6:30. So I don't want to miss out on that. So hopefully I can get there and traffic's not going to be too bad today, but you never know. So I'll check back in here with you guys here in a little bit. I'm going to get down the road and try to put some miles behind me and hopefully get there before 6 o'clock. I'll see you guys here in a few minutes. Guys, checking back in. We're making pretty good time actually. It says I will be there at 5:55 and dinner's at 6:30, so unless we run into some bad traffic, it looks like we might make it there on time. Right now I'm going through Middlesboro, Kentucky, and if you've never heard of this town, it's probably because it's a pretty small town. There's not much here, but it is famous for one thing, and that is it's the home of Lee Majors. And why do I know that? Because there's signs all over his town saying the birthplace of, or the home of Lee Majors, rather. A lot of you younger guys out there probably don't know who that is. He was a pretty famous actor back in the day. I'm not sure if he's still alive or not. Really not sure about that. So anyways, I'm gonna get on down the road here, and the next stop, I will tell you guys about the skunk that we had in the house last night. Well guys, we're making pretty good time. We're about 45 miles away from Louisville. I think we'll make it to the restaurant on time. I was hoping to check into the hotel first, but that ain't gonna happen. But talking earlier about how this day's been kind of a debacle and not off to a good start, even though we're making pretty good time right now. Last night at my house wasn't much better. Cosmo, which is our 9-year-old pit bull, she's a house dog, got sprayed by a skunk, and we think it happened out in the garage, but we're not 100% positive on that. So last night about 10 o'clock, we had to mix up some Dawn detergent, some baking soda, and some peroxide, and give her a bath outside to get the stink off, and it was awful. And it was in the garage, it came through in the house kinda. Man, it was nasty. And you guys are sliding around everywhere. I need a better holder for my camera, my goodness.
Come all you young rounders, and a story I'll tell of the promise of heaven and the warning of hell. But take heed where you ramble, or too soon you will go way up on the hillside. Flowers they only met in the springtime, sunset, two star-crossed lovers in the still melting snow.
All right, guys. So what y'all think about that show? I didn't shoot a lot of footage there because a lot of it was the same thing over and over again, just people trying out machines. But man, that was a really good time with Cotto. Had a few other YouTubers there I got to meet up with, Joe, Daniel, and Tony, Hank. And if I'm not naming you off, don't worry about it. I met more of you guys than I can remember. All right, guys, we're down here in the wood shop, and I'm gonna show you how I take rough sawn poplar. This has already been ran through the edger though. That's one process I'm not going to show you. I think I did on a previous video. So we're going to take this right here, run it through the grizzly planer, work it down to a true 4/4 on the thickness, and then we're going to take it over here and run it through the Wood-Mizer 4-sided molder and turn it into some really nice shiplap right here. Check it out. I've already made a few test boards this morning. Stuff's looking pretty good, guys, really good. Got a nice rusted look to it, got some knots and some defects. I love stuff like that. I think this looks really good. And let me show you guys the process I go through when I make something like this. Now, another step in the process I'm not going to show you guys today. I think I showed this in the previous Sawmill Saturday, but I can't remember. This lumber comes straight out of the kiln, goes back down to the sawmill, and I run it through the edger to make it as straight as possible. This right here, guys, is a 4-sided molder. I'll show more up close pictures here in just a minute on all the inner workings here if you're new to this channel. But when you send lumber through it, it makes a really nice finished product, but it's not a miracle maker. If you send a board through this shaped like a banana on the side, it's going to produce a board with shiplap profile that looks like a banana. You want it as straight as possible and make it as easy on this molder as you can, and that gets you your best product at the end of the day. So guys, if you're new to this channel, this is a Wood-Mizer MP260. Wood-Mizer has a lot of different size molders. This is a single phase molder. Works really good, has 4 cutting heads on it. Get this opened up here. I should have done this off camera, my goodness. So the lumber enters on this side, goes under this feed roller, and all these rollers right here are powered by this motor. You can also set the speed of this motor as well. That's a really nice feature. But anyways, the lumber comes in, goes under the feed roller, passes over this cutter head right here, and that pretty much planes the bottom of your board. Hits this side cutter, which cuts one side. This cutter does the other side. Then as the board leaves, it goes under this helical cutter head right here, and that finishes off your lumber. Now this machine also comes with regular planer knives on the top. And there's an advantage to that because you can make crown molding and have all kinds of profiles cut on the top of the board. I can't do that with this helical cutter head. I can only plane the top of the board, but this has the advantage of the easiness of sharpening it, meaning you just switch over these little knives right here and you got fresh ends as far as planing goes. There's no real jig or nothing needed to keep this sharpened and ready to go. Really easy to maintain, puts a really good finish on your boards. But if you want to get a machine like this and make crown moldings and stuff like that, get the regular knives on your top cutter head so you can put different profiles in there. I love this setup because with the helical cutter head, it really doesn't matter if you're making shiplap or flooring or S4S and lumber because you're only going to be planing the top of the board. It really just matters on your workflow and what you're trying to achieve with a machine like this. Now, if you're a real high production shop, I would have 2 of these machines, one with the helical cutter head for S4S and one for moldings. Now I'm not sure how good this will come through on the camera, but this is the surface you get with the helical cutter head. Extremely smooth, ready to go on the wall. Really nice product right there. I love making shiplap here at the farm. So I said all that to say this: if you run a sawmill out there and you're looking to grow your business, you can add another product such as S4S lumber or shiplap, or you can even make flooring at that machine. It does a lot of different stuff. It's not that expensive. I think that machine right there runs about $12,000. If I'm wrong, I'll put the amount right here, but I think it's around $12,000. Add about 2 or 3 more thousand for your dust collector and you're good to go, and you got something the other sawmills don't have, the ability to make a finished product other than just rough sawn boards. But in order to use something like this with your operation, you're going to need one more thing, and that is a kiln. You might get away with running lumber through a molder that's been air dried. I wouldn't want to sell it to nobody without sterilizing it. So you will need a kiln or access to a kiln for your lumber before you run it through your molder. not all boards are meant to go through the molder and be made into shiplap, such as this one right here. Check it out. Got these large knots right here and that defect on the corner, so you would have your groove right there for the shiplap. That's hard on your cutting knives and also makes for a terrible joint right there when you assemble this. Then over here on the other end, you got the same thing. When you start seeing some large defects like that, it's usually not a good idea to make this into shiplap. It's going to have a failure point right there, more than likely, when you install it. Now you can cut this out right here. You can make you a cut right there and right there and get maybe a 5-footer as far as your shiplap goes. I got plenty of poplars, so I'm not trying to squeeze what I can out of this lumber. But I'll probably, at a later date, cut that off, S4S that, and that'll make a nice short little board for a shelf or who knows what. Now we're going to make this interesting. I'm not sure how this board will do, but we're going to try it. So this one has a little bit of bark right there on the edge. I got a live edge on about 80% of it right there. We'll send this one through and see what happens. Some of this live edge may still be there after we cut the profile right there. And these look really neat on your wall. I've cut these before and I usually install them because it's kind of interesting to look on the wall and see a little bit of a remnants of a live edge right there. I love the looks on stuff like this. If it's not perfect, I usually love it. And as far as what coffee we're drinking today, Juniper Mountain out of a John Deere cup that a subscriber sent me. It's good coffee right there. There's a link down below. Go check them out. Not sponsored. They have no idea who I am, but man, in my opinion, they make the best coffee. And also guys, I should have done this earlier. For those of you new to this channel, let me show you what this poplar looks like when it's on the side of a wall. Maybe you didn't notice. So this poplar has been on this wall for about 2 years. And there's no finish over it. Just how it comes off the machine. And that's what it looks like on a wall. And I tell you what guys, I love it. I love the look of poplar when it's made into shiplap like this. Looks really good, and it ages and darkens just a little. You can put a finish over this if you want to. I don't think that's necessary. I think it looks really good the way it is. So anyways guys, I guess I'm done for the day. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you don't care, hit the thumbs up. Make sure you leave me a comment if you like this video, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. And I'll see you guys back here on the next one.